Welcome to a Song of Ice and Fire Symposium. My name is Nav, and my pronouns are they, them.
And my name's Harmit, and my pronouns are she, like the chocolate.
And this is A Storm of Swords, chapters 29, 30, and 31. Arya,
John,
and Jaime. Thank you. In these chapters, Arya takes another bath. John climbs the wall. Jaime returns to Harrenhal. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Hopefully this episode goes up 1 week after the last one, because that's what we're going to be trying for. No, fast and loose no promises, but we're going to aim for this. Right, Harmith?
why are we telling them that? Because they won't hear that until it comes out.
So what do you mean?
Like, if we said that last time, we were like, oh, we might have an episode next week. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, saying this is meaningless.
Most of what we say is meaningless.
No, it's not. Most of what we say, is oh, if you had, because the episode...
Maybe people will be like, oh, what's this? And then they'll be like, oh, there's going to be one episode a week from now on.
I think you should edit this out, and you should start off with, we might release weekly, if it works out.
I'm keeping all of this in. Okay, so...
that's meaningless.
Who died in these chapters? Give meaning to this episode and answer this question.
Sorry, I'm stuck on this. You know how you get stuck on, what was that word? This is I'm finishing
nobody
this.
really knows to expect an episode a week.
Yeah, okay. So I'm just gonna clear that up. Hey guys, pretending like that entire discussion didn't happen.
What?
So, okay, shh. Hi everyone. From now on, we're gonna do our best for the summer to release weekly episodes. Yeah. Okay, we're done.
And everybody didn't understand that from everything I jabbered before.
It needs to be clear, okay? And now it's clear. And
clarity,
now we can move on.
Our strong point, clear.
Hey, your thing is oh my god, what is that word? My thing is, if it doesn't mean anything, let's cut it out. That's my thing.
But this is the fun bit.
No, but we can have fun and still mean things.
Okay, so tell me what it means. Who died in these chapters?
Oh my god, there were too many deaths in these.
Give me highlights.
Okay, shh. We're really starting to make up for that,
nobody's dying.
Spell we had. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
the dry
we started
spell.
off with who did we start off with? Oh, Arya. Arya, in Arya's episode, or chapter, who died? There definitely was deaths.
Oh my god.
Give me a second. I literally forget. I swear there was deaths.
Talk. Tickety.
I don't remember. Okay, moving on.
A bunch of people in crow cages.
Oh my god, I forgot about all of them. Yes, them. All the people that, them. And then in John's episode, John's chapter, it was, the dude whose name starts with a J. Jarl, the 3 other people on his team.
And then 2 other things. And
then, just 2 people. And then in frickin'... Who did we have?
Jaime.
In Jaime's chapter, we had a few deaths. Was there any big ones?
Did we? Who died?
We found out, I guess they just reiterated Cleos died, and I think it was just kind of small ones like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but nothing major, I don't think.
Yeah, but we knew Cleos died. We actually saw him die, so
yeah.
Anyway, so that's who died. I guess now you gotta summarize.
Yay.
In 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, Arya cages people, gives them water. Peach, brothel, girl, Gendry. Arya's like, can I escape? No, I can't. And then freaking
Switch.
John.
John.
Oh my god, John. Okay, John. Okay, they're gonna climb the wall. He describes the wall. He's like, okay, there's ridges, there's peaks, there's valleys. We're gonna go here. There's more like ground. Like we can use the tree, and then they go up, and then people die. Stuff happens, and then they toss like ladders, ropes. They go up. Then they're actually there, and they're like, whoa. And not Brienne. What's her name? What is her name?
Ygritte?
Ygritte, yes. Ygritte's like really like traumatized and like and John's like, are you scared? Oh my god, it's okay. And then she's like, you know nothing.
Switch.
Freaking Jaime. Okay, Jaime, Brienne. Jaime does not have a hand, phantom pain, infection, dying. They're like, wow, I'm gonna rape you, Brienne. He's like, sapphires. He's really salty. He's like, I have nothing.
Okay, that's
I have no
time.
worth. Oh my god.
Okay, before anybody else calls me out on it, I made a mistake, and I only gave you 20 seconds for the Arya, but then I made up for it by giving you 40 seconds for John.
Okay.
Sorry, that was my bad.
The Arya felt short, but then I was like, wow. That was so short.
I don't know. I felt like you got through a lot, and so I was like, oh, it's definitely time.
Oh.
Like, you got through your usual amount of material, so I was like, this has got to be it, right?
That's funny. I think because I was using... I didn't mean to do this, but I was just using one words instead of... Usually I'm like, Arya was there. This time I was like, Arya, there. You know? Like, it was very like... what's it called when it's like piece by piece? Like, it's very...
I don't know. Point form. I don't know.
I guess. Like, disjointed? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like Jaime. Or I guess he's not disjointed, but I needed to... I
Okay.
wanted to, body joint.
Yes. Puns. We know.
Yes.
Okay. So that was my bad, but it was fine. Let's move on. We are going to try to do this episode as quickly as we can because there's not a lot to dwell on, and it's a personal challenge to myself. So, Arya, let's dwell on the Battle of the Bells. So they're pulling into Stony Sept, and Arya's hearing the story about how her dad won a great battle here. It was called the Battle of the Bells. People had been hunting for Robert, and Robert was hiding in this place because he was hurt or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And he was hanging out when Lord Connington, the Hand at the time, surrounded the town and was searching for him. When Ned's and I guess your grandfather, meaning Hoster Tully, their forces came in and they fought, and then Robert joined them and like killed a bunch of people, and they like rang the bells to warn the townspeople to like go hide, and Robert came out when he heard the bell, so it's called the Battle of the Bells. And Robert always like attributes this to Ned winning the battle, so it was like a thing, you know? History.
And the hand ran away.
Jazz hands.
Right,
hands. Yeah. Lord Connington ended up running away. And Sir Dennis Aaron, the Darling of the Vale. I'm not sure who that is. I feel like he was probably like John Aaron's heir or something. He died, so too bad about that. Like, it is too bad, but like we don't know this person.
I don't really
like
care.
Who cares? Yeah. Okay. So that's the story of this town. So they're pulling up to it and they're looking around. And then they come upon these crow cages stuffed with people, half dead, half alive, being like starved and just left there for the crows to slowly eat them, I guess. It's not a good scene. And Arya and all the people are like really disturbed by it. And we learned that they were caught by some guy called the Huntsman. and he's punishing them for raiding and raping and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And we learned that they are wolves, like, so they're northern men. We're not sure, like, it doesn't specify whether they're, like, allied to Rob or Roose or the Karstarks, because there's, like, all sorts of factions going on.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they're northern people. Mm-hmm. And one of them, like, a couple of them are just crying for water, and Arya's like, oh my god, I can't deal with this, so she gives them water. And the village people are like, ooh, the huntsman's not going to be happy about that.
And then Anguy kills them with the arrow, and he's like, he's not going to be happy about this either.
Yeah, Lem's like, first, Lem's like, why are you doing this to them? Why don't you just kill them, like, hang them and have it be done with, you know? Mm-hmm. But they're like, oh, well, they did terrible things, so we're going to do terrible things to them in return. So that's their logic, but whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, this prolonged torture is not... Yeah, I'm just glad that Anguy killed him. So, anyway, I'm glad he killed somebody. Whatever. They're dead now. Mm-hmm. And Arya thinks to herself, Valar Morghulis, even though she doesn't know what it means, but we do, and it makes sense, and it's great, and it's whatever. Mm-hmm. Then they go to an inn, and they've got, like, a little peach painted on the sign.
I love that. I really love that.
Renly would be proud.
Exactly. Not only is it, like, an homage to Renly, our favorite icon,
but like, nobody...
But like, obviously, like, I get that, but I like that George R. R. Martin was like we gotta bring the peach. Yes, but I like that he was like, yes, let's bring the peach back, because people have not had enough of the peach. And it just, like, in context, makes sense. So this just made me really happy.
Peach emoji.
No, literally. George R. R. Martin was, like, coming up with these before emojis existed.
Yeah, so they go in, and the person that's in charge, her name is... do they give us
Tansy?
Is that Is Tansy the one that's in charge?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, alright, so Tansy's the woman that's in charge. And she's like, okay, I guess you're here. We'll set you up, but I'm gonna make sure you get all washed up and don't bring more fleas into my house. Mm-hmm.
But the thing with Tansy was also interesting, because that's like the
herb, the abortion
herb, right? Like,
yes, it's kind of fitting that somebody like, that works in is a sex worker would have a name Tansy.
Yeah, and in my head I was like, is this like her real name, or is this like, do you know what I mean? It's like a nickname that came about.
The Maester at Riverrun also said, like, that people name their kid, like, common folk name their kids Tansy all the time, because it's just like a plant that grows in the wild. Maybe it's just a happy coincidence or something. I don't know.
Well, but we love it.
Yeah, it was George R. R. Martin was like, Peach Tansy.
Yes,
Peach Tansy. Like, really
100%. It's okay. Usually his naming, I'm like, what are you doing? Why do they all have the same name? But here I'm like, you know what? This is cool. Yeah, here I'm like, we're good with this. This is okay.
So, anyway, and then she's like, I'm also gonna have to boil your clothes before we let them into this place. And it says she made good on all her threats. And Arya tries to be like, I bathed twice, not a fortnight
less than a fortnight ago. Yeah.
Why are you making me do this? But they make her bathe again, and they dress her up in a dress and everything. But she's like, at least I get to eat. So... after being washed and everything, she goes and hangs out in the common area. And she's like looking around, and she's like, oh, Syrio told me to, like, look and see what's here. And she's like, okay, a lot of women, young women, men coming in, going upstairs, like, what's going... Oh, this is a brothel. Like, but for like a 9-year-old, that's pretty good.
This is pretty good. It's nice deductive reasoning. Go off, Arya.
And Gendry's like, you don't even know what that is. And she's like, yeah, I do. It's like an inn with girls.
Oh my god.
And then he's like, oh, well, what are you doing here? This place is not fit for a highborn lady. This is when this girl, Bella, comes over and is like, oh, who's highborn? I hear I'm a king's daughter myself. Apparently, King Robert had sex with her mom, and she even has his hair. And Arya's like, well, Gendry has that hair. It's not
Which
like it
was
means
so
anything.
funny. Oh my god. And it's like, well, in that case, it's like, you're right, but the way you got there is not right.
What do you think about this?
Okay, this grossed me out because I was like, it would be incest.
Yeah. We don't know if they, and I know, I don't think they actually end up having sex because Gendry's like asleep beside Arya, but like also they could have had sex and then he could have gone to bed.
Because he did say, he was like, oh, I might go find her after, but that might have also just been
sulky.
like a...
It was just like,
yeah. Like, we don't really know, but...
Yeah, almost incest.
Yeah,
I do
was
tend
like,
to
please.
think that I'm like, yeah, this is probably one of Robert's bastards. Like, it makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
But, like, Gendry and Bella could have had a real, like, family reunion. Like, not sex, but, like, you know, they could have, like...
Yeah, but, like, Gendry doesn't know that... Or does he know that he's...
No, he doesn't.
Okay, yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, so I was like, this wouldn't mean anything. It would just be...
I know.
They would find out one day, and they'd be like, oh my god, we did not just pull a Targaryen, please. Like...
Anyway, yeah, that was like a weird moment. George probably couldn't resist it. He was like, oh, I gotta just add a little bit of this in there. Some
gotta
spice
it up. Yeah. Oh my god.
And Arya's like looking around and she's like, it's weird how there's like dead people rotting in the crow cages just across the square, but like everybody's so jolly here. But then she's like, except it seemed to her that some of them were laughing too hard somehow. So it's like this put on jolly, you know?
Yeah.
That was an interesting observation. I like her when she's like looking and seeing.
Yeah.
And Harwin and Lem are sitting next to Tansy. Wait, okay, here it says red-haired Tansy. Is the woman in charge red-haired?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Okay, I just needed to confirm it.
You just don't trust me.
I don't.
Okay, well, you should. Because I have proven time and time again that I am trustworthy. I was going to say trustable.
In the grade 6.
Oh my god. No, you went even farther back than I thought you were going to go.
Oh,
all right.
Where were you going to go?
We don't need to talk about it.
Oh, please tell me. I won't be able to move on.
Well, then tell me I'm trustworthy first.
You are trustworthy.
Okay. I thought you were going to say when I accidentally read an extra chapter.
That's true. That's more relevant to the podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
I should have brought that up.
That's why I thought you were going to go there.
I was going personal history as opposed to podcasting. Well, which is also personal. But, you know, we're professional, totally.
This is a work relationship, apparently.
I don't know. If this were, like, actually work, I don't know if we would enjoy it. Like, as soon as you make something, like, work, I'm just like, I don't want to do it.
I don't think so, because I think as long as you make it work, where you still... Because, like, we enjoy it because we're choosing to do it, but you can, like, work and still choose... Like, you're still choosing to put in that work.
That's true. Okay,
I think as long... Okay, like, no. Once again, we need to finish this before we move on. Like, this is my thing. Okay.
Chicken, Hagar, chicken, whatever.
Okay, what?
Okay.
Okay.
I'll finish that after you finish yours.
Okay, sounds good. Because the reason you don't like work is because you're like, oh my god, like, I can't quit this job and I hate it, you know? But it's like, if it's work that you're choosing to do, like when people have, like, people are like influencers and they're like doing their thing, and if that's not like your main source of income and you're just doing it for fun, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're influencers.
We're not influencers. That's a metaphor.
Okay.
I never want to be an influencer in my life.
By Jaken Chicken, I meant, I don't know if you saw Matz's text, but he sent both of us a text about last episode and how we were talking about Jaqen Hagar and like decapitation and then chickens, and he got like all like mixed up in that. So I was referencing that.
Oh, okay.
Just like all of our thoughts are fragmented. That's just
so funny.
how we be.
I love that. Oh my god.
Then I sent him a video of Jaqen Hagar and a chicken. And
what?
Yes.
Oh
if
my.
anybody wants to see that, request it in the spoilers.
Oh my. Okay. Join the Discord. Link in bio. If you want, or link in show notes.
I don't know how I feel about this like aggressive plugging.
I think that you should be okay with it, because we're not like, go buy this $50 supplement. Not calling anyone out with that. We're just saying,
but what if
like,
somebody
hey,
doesn't have Discord and then we're like bullying them to get Discord?
I really don't care.
They're like adding like another app onto their phone that's mining their data
here's
and
the thing.
violating their privacy.
If they care about the thing that much that they really want to know, if they email us, we will tell them. We won't gatekeep. Do you know what I mean? Like, the gatekeeping is just to the public.
Ask
but if you
on
care enough
Discord
to ask,
or email.
But preferably, like, just download Discord. It's fine.
So I guess we're like brand ambassadors of Discord or something. Okay.
No.
Back to Lem and Harwin talking to Tansy in low voices. They're talking about how Catelyn and Brienne and Jaime all had a threesome, and that's why Catelyn let Jaime go.
Oh my god. Right! This was wild. I was like, y'all need to, like, what?
Because that's the only reason she would do this, right?
Mm-hmm. Obviously.
It's too funny. Anyway.
Lady Catelyn cut him loose for love. I was like, yes, absolutely.
One threesome equals love, apparently.
No. The sad widow was so easy to manipulate, and Jaime was just like, whoa, I'm here.
He did offer it, but she turned him down. Okay.
Fair. Valid.
So later on, no, not later on, just like after she overhears that, Arya's just hanging out, and this gross dude comes over and is like looking her over. And
well, aren't you a pretty little peach?
Why did you have to get into details? I'm trying to block it out of my mind. So Gendry comes over and is like, she's my sister, get the fuck away. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, thank God. But then Arya is like, why did you say that? You're not my brother.
You're not my brother.
And he's like, oh, right, that's right. I'm too low-born to be your brother.
Gendry,
and she's like, that's not what I fucking meant. And he just, like, storms off and is like, I'm gonna go find that girl and ring her bell for her.
Oh my.
Just like, okay, have fun.
Yeah.
So he dismisses her. Go away, my lady. And
he could ring all the bells he wanted. It was nothing to her.
Yeah. So she goes on up to like the room that they're gonna be sleeping in, and it's like this room that's like mostly a mattress, and that's kind of like a dream for me, you know?
Oh my god!
Right?
Okay, but
like
is this a dream for you? Sharing that with 5 other people?
No, just to myself. Like a room that's just a mattress, so that you could just like lay wherever, however, you know?
Right. Yes.
You never just wanted to do that? As a kid, I used to have this like, you know, when you like start like a dream situation in your brain so that you fall asleep to it and that kind of continue that dream, right?
Yes.
So often, I kind of still do this, but this was one of my major ones as a kid, was I would imagine myself in a room that was just like a mattress and then pillows on the wall and the ceiling and stuff, and that I would just be like bouncing on this mattress, and then I would just like tire myself out, and then I would fall asleep, and then I would bounce, like get up and bounce again and then fall asleep, and it would just be like me rolling around on this mattress, and that was one of my favorite fantasies.
That's adorable. You need to do that. Like, even if you don't want to you know, like spend too much money to make it happen, just like get a room that's like big enough that you can like just build one wall, and then one side can just like be like, do you know what I mean? You can kind of have that, but then still have a room.
Yeah,
and you can live your childhood dreams.
Maybe I will. Yeah, so I really like this situation, even though she has to share it with like 5 other people, which is not as great. But
for
she gets
now, she's chilling.
Yeah, she gets out of her like while like crazy dress. It's crazy in that it's just uncomfortable, and she gets in her like regular clothes, curls up under the bed, says her little prayer, and then she falls asleep and dreams she's a wolf with a pack, and you know, it's great. But then she wakes up and there's dogs barking, and she's like, what the fuck? What is this? And she goes and looks out the window, and there's a whole pack of dogs, and we hear that we've heard that the huntsman has like dogs, so we're kind of like associating this with him. And there's some riders, and they're taunting their new prisoner, who they're about to stuff into a crow cage. And they're like, oh, here's your new castle, you bloody Lannister bastard. A little snug for the likes of you, but we'll squeeze you in. Never fret. And they're like, oh, while you rot in there, we're going to be spending this nice Lannister gold of yours. And when the crows are done with you, we'll send whatever's left to your bloody brother. Though I doubt he'll know you. And they're making such a ruckus that like everybody's waking up. And they're like, what's going on? And Tom gets up and he's looking at the prisoner and everything. And they're like, okay, go get everybody, gather. And Arya's like, I heard them say Lannister. And Gendry's like, oh, is it the Kingslayer they've caught? But then the prisoner turns. And Arya's like, no, not the Kingslayer. But the gods had answered her prayers after all. So what do you think that means?
Okay. I had a lot of thoughts about this. I had a mental breakdown about this.
Okay.
So I was like, what the fuck? Okay, I'm going to take you through my thought process, which was a little long, but that's okay.
I love it. Please do so.
Okay. So Lannister bastard. First thing you're like, okay, like, someone who's a Lannister, whoa. And then I was like, what if it's someone who's not a Lannister? Because I ended up ruling out all the Lannisters. Okay. Let's go through my Lannister thoughts first. So I was like, okay, Lannister bastard, bloody brother. I was like, what? I was like, is it the brother of Tywin? Is it the brother of Joffrey? Is it the brother of Tyrion? And I was like, okay, Tyrion's brother's Jaime. This dude has shackles around his wrists. And we know that Jaime is not, like, here. But he's like, so I was like, it's not Jaime. And then they said it's not Jaime, but I was having these thoughts before we found out it was not Jaime. And then it was like, okay, Joffrey has a brother, but then I was like, Tommen is not here. Like, we know that.
Also,
that makes
Tommen's
no sense.
A child.
Yes, but we need to go through everyone, just in case. Right. Whoever's a Lannister.
I'm just adding to the reasoning, you know.
Yes.
Like,
And
they
then
wouldn't be like, oh, you're too big for this cage. To a child that's like 6.
Yes, very true. And then I was like, maybe it's like Kevin or something. But then I was like, we just saw Kevin in that last conversation with Tywin and Tyrion, where he was like, you have to marry him. Like, he was literally, like, I went back and checked, and he was literally in that chapter. So I was like, okay, they can't be here this quick. Like, this is not how the King's Road works. Like, this is just, and like, why would this doesn't make sense. So then I was like, okay, we're done with that. And then I had one more Lannister thought before I gave up on the Lannisters, which was, who's the person that's missing? Is it Lancel?
No. Lancel's the one that's, like, he was wounded in the battle, and then Cersei punched him in his wound, and he's, like,
so now he's, like, low-key dead. Yes.
Yeah.
Who's the dude that's missing?
Missing is... God, I know his name, but it's a Tyrick Lannister.
Okay, we don't know what happened to him, right?
Yeah, we have no idea. I know he was married to that little baby. Like, they married him to the baby. I know that.
Right, because then he went missing during the riot. Yeah, okay. Okay, then never mind. Then I don't think he's here.
They never found a body or anything. Like, we have no idea where he is.
Yeah, that was in King's Landing, so it wouldn't make sense for him to be here. Okay, great. We've ruled out all the Lannisters, I think, in my mind. So, the conclusion I've come to is that it is, the Mountain?
Gregor Clegane the Mountain?
Yes. Or Sandor. I can't decide who it is.
So it's the Mountain or the Hound?
I think it's the Hound.
Okay, why do you think so? Give me your reasoning.
Okay, because Lannister bastard is like, you're like Lannister, you know? And then I think the bloody brother is where I'm like stuck on the Hound and the Mountain. Because it's
like it's one of the brothers, but I don't know which one.
Yeah, because the thing is Arya, because then Arya's like, the gods had heard her prayers, and one of the people that she's like has it out for is the Mountain.
Actually, both the Hound and the Mountain are on her list.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yeah, like we literally have the list like a page before this.
Oh, oops, I didn't even... That makes sense. But yeah, I was like, because I remembered at least one of them being on... Oh yeah, because the Hound killed Sansa's wolf, that's why.
No. Ned killed Lady.
No, but the Hound killed her friend.
Micah,
yeah, sorry, there was two killings in the same moment, you know? Okay, yeah, so that's why it was the Hound, and then Mountain because of literally all the other trauma. That makes sense. Yeah, so I think it's one of them. Yeah, and I think...
I feel like she had something specific against the Mountain as well, which I can't remember right now.
I think because he was the one who came in and was like... Was it him or was it Vargo who was doing all that, like, torturing of people and, like, asking them questions and stuff?
Right. Okay. It was the Mountain and his people. You're right.
They were doing, like, questioning and, like, it wasn't... it was so many leading questions. No matter what you said, you were gonna die. Like,
yes.
Useless. And then she was like, what the fuck? So,
thank you for the reminder. Yes. All of her encounters at Harrenhal. Yeah.
Yes.
And leading up to it. Okay. Thank you for the reminder. Okay. So both the brothers are on her list, and you think it's more likely that it's the Hound.
Yeah, because then it also
gives us... He has been missing for a while. Like, we have no idea where he's been.
And they're also like, okay, because they're saying the crows will be picking out your eyes while we're spending all that good Lannister gold of yours. Does that imply we're gonna ransom you, or is it he literally had gold when they found him? Do you know what I mean? Like...
It doesn't really specify,
so I'm like, I don't know, but I think it is the Hound. I don't know if I think it is the Hound. I'd like it to be the Hound because then it clarifies where he is.
Yeah, maybe if it was ransom, then they would have been like, that gold of your brothers that we're gonna like, you know?
Yeah.
Like later on, sure. Vargo Hoat is like, oh, I'll send Tywin Jaime's body parts until he pays me. And then I'll spend all his money. I'll spend all of Tywin's money.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Okay. So.
That's what I think.
What is I guess the only prediction is like, okay, so you think it's the Hound. Say it is the Hound. What's gonna happen? Are they gonna, put him in a crow cage, leave him to die? Like, what's...
I think that's what they want to do, but then, like, the King's men are gonna come in and be like, Huntsman, do you have a brain? Like, what are you doing? Yeah, like, barracks men. Like the people that Arya's with are gonna be like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, we could get something for this man. Like, what are you doing? So they might try to, like, stop it, but I feel like the Huntsman so far has been very much just, like, torture them for what they did and leave them out to die.
Okay. But barracks men will succeed in stopping him or not?
I think they'll succeed.
And then what will they do with the prisoner?
I think they'll, like, wait for Barrack and be like, what does Barrack want to do? Because I feel like, once again, if it, like, either brother, that's... Obviously, it's not at the level of an Arya catch, but it's still, like, a pretty big catch, you know?
Yeah.
It's not just, like, a plain prisoner, like...
So, they're gonna take him prisoner.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna take him also to Barrack, like...
I guess.
Everybody's going to go see Barrack and Darien.
Yes, they are.
Big field trip of this book.
Yeah, because also, especially if it's Sandor, like, Barrack's the entire beginning of this mission was let's find Sandor and kill him.
No, it was let's find Gregor and kill him.
Oh, yes, that's what I was trying to say. Yes.
Shit.
In my head, I was thinking about the mountain, but I said the wrong name.
But we're going with it's the Hound.
Yes, but if I'm wrong, like, I think it's one of the brothers, and if it's the second brother, then even better, because that's exactly who Barrack's looking for. But if it's the first brother, we can still use the other brother, you know?
Okay. There's
Yeah.
so many brothers. Okay, let's move on to John.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one quick detail that I kind of want to dwell on just slightly is that in these chapters, like in the John chapter and then in the Jaime chapter, we hear about all these like constellations. Like John's talking about the Sword of the Morning, which first I was like, wait, isn't that Arthur Dane?
Oh yeah,
That's his title.
Yeah.
But then I googled it, and apparently the Sword of the Morning is one of the constellations in A World of Ice and Fire. And then later on, Jaime's looking up at the sky and he names a bunch of constellations, and I was like, this is a very astronomy heavy couple of chapters.
Oh my god.
Okay, that's all. So he's waking up and it's the day of the climb, and they're prepping for it. They're sending men to like keep watch for the Night's Watch in case they're about to get caught. And Jarl is the one that's in charge of all the climbing because he's done this 100 or so times, and he's real good at it. And he finds this spot along the wall that's like really good because the wall is built on top of these hills, and he finds like a hill that reaches like a third of the way up the wall anyway. And then they only have to climb like 500 feet instead of 700 feet. So that's a win for them.
Nice little life hack if you want to go climb the wall, guys.
Yeah. And there's all these like trees leading up, like leaning against the wall, and it's a good place to start climbing because they're going to be hidden out of view for a while. And John's like, back in the day they used to cut down all the trees near the wall, but obviously we're in shambles now, so that ain't happening anymore.
Yeah.
And he's looking around at all like the Thens who have never seen the wall before because they're from like the north. And they're like real impressed, like in awe of the thing.
And he's kind of thinking about like how the wall's the end of the world to everyone in Westeros, but also to these people, like just in a different way. It's the end of the wall or end of the world.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my god, like, where do I stand? Which side am I really on?
Yeah. And then he's into like, oh, if I like, what about Ygritte? Like, if I abandon them now, then the Magnar's gonna kill her because she was colluding with me, kinda. But if I take her with me, it's not like she can hang out at Castle Black. Like,
and does she even wanna, like? And if she doesn't want to go, and it, like, then she's like, is she gonna try to stop me? Like there's just so much more that's like, what the fuck is gonna happen?
Yeah. And then Jarl and his people pull up, and they are like, piece of cake. Done this, been there, done that, all of that. And they know what they're doing. Like, they've got this perfect, like, climbing gear, and they're using climbing picks. And some are iron, bronze. There's also, like, bone picks, and they've got shoes with picks on them. Like, it's all the stuff. They're as prepared as you can be while climbing a 90 degree wall of ice, right?
Yeah.
A wall of ice at a 90-degree angle. I think that's a better way to say it. I don't know. Yeah. What am I saying, Preet?
Just a wall of ice, I think. I think people understand that walls are at an angle of 90 degrees.
That's not necessarily true.
Okay, well, do we know that this wall is not, like, you know? I mean, I guess it's so high that it probably can't be, like, Leaning Tower of Pisa vibes. Like, it's probably straight up, but we don't know. But it's also
like
ice,
a defensive feature, so you wouldn't want it to be leaning. Like, you want it to be pretty straight.
Yeah, but if you lean it the other way, then isn't it even harder for them to climb it? Like, if it leans towards this way? You know what I mean? But I doubt it is that way, because otherwise they would have described that.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay,
Remember when we were gonna get stuck on details?
It's okay. I think if we only do a couple, it's like, okay.
Yeah. So anyway, Jarl's like hyping his people up, and he's like, okay, Mance is gonna give a castle forged steel sword to every man who reaches the top. And he's gonna add your name to the song he'll write about this journey. And what else could a free man ask for? And they start on climbing, and what is it? Hang on. And John's thinking about like, okay, it's hard to get over that wall, but it's even harder to come back because you're leaving like all your horses and stuff. And usually like the first instinct would be to go and steal some horses, but then that would raise alarm, and then the Night's Watch would go and hunt down whoever's breached the wall. So that's a real like novice move. And John's like, Jarl won't make that mistake, but Stir, the Magnar, might. And
Jarl's gone.
Yeah, Jarl is dead, so the Magnar is in charge now. You think he'll make this mistake?
I think he totally could.
Yeah.
But also, because the thing is, like, because we still have some of Jarl's men. Like, they're not Jarl, but they do have experience.
Right, so they might be like, hey, by the by.
Yeah, but Magnar will probably just be like, shut up, I know what I'm doing. Because, you know, he's not like the rest where he's used to, like, being equal with everyone. He's kind of like,
yeah. He is the king of their people. His people. Yeah. Yeah, and he's like standing on the ground complaining about how long it's taking them to climb this wall.
Like, dude, do you understand? But this was like, honestly, this was like kind of beautiful to see. Just like the way it was described, I was just like, whoa.
Yeah,
like
this it was well described.
It's really cool. I was like, damn.
George R. R. Martin does not lack in his descriptions. Sometimes he over describes, if anything. But yeah, it's pretty harrowing, and like you know, I've read this chapter, you know, a few times now, so it wasn't like as I knew exactly what to expect. But I think the first time that I read it, and that point where the whole sheet of ice breaks away, I like actually gasped. I was like, what? Like that can just happen?
Oh my god.
Yeah. Okay, so the Magnar is complaining, but Jarl and his people, he's got like 3 teams climbing side by side so that they can increase their chances of making it to the top, I guess.
Oh my god, yeah. And I feel like if they don't space themselves out, like they're just gonna too much.
Yeah, and John's just observing them climb, and he's like, oh my god, they're having to like kick their feet repeatedly just to get a hold onto the wall. And how long can they like keep that up? Because their legs are probably numb by now.
Yep.
This is why I'm not a climber. I like not even ice.
I mean, like, I feel like usually you don't have to, you know, you don't gotta kick your foot a billion times to make a foothold.
Yeah, but you do gotta like, I don't know, your
hands
get all caught up and your toes hurt. I don't know. This is why my fantasies involve mattresses and not walls.
That's so funny. I love that. Meanwhile, I'm like, oh my god, like when I have more time, like I want to start climbing mountains and hiking.
Well, my goal this summer is to take pottery classes, but okay, this is such a segue, but not even a segue. Tangent. I keep saying segue, but I mean tangent.
You did that last episode too.
Sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize. I'm just calling it out.
There's only 2 places in the city that offer pottery classes. And both of them are literally solidly booked for like the foreseeable future. But I'm like on all the waiting lists. We'll see. Anyway.
As you should.
I might be a potter. Not the Harry Potter kind, but the pottery kind.
Oh my god.
What are we talking about?
Walls?
Okay.
Climbing walls?
So it takes them like 6 hours, and they're finally in like the upper third of the wall when Jarl's specific team is up in the upper third of the wall, when a sheet of the ice a foot thick and 50 feet square breaks off from the wall and just falls. And it like comes crashing like even through the woods to where they're standing, and one of the Thens that's just hanging out watching gets a chunk thrown at his face that breaks his nose, which I'm like, that's so unfair, you know? Like, he wasn't even the one taking the risk, but he got hit anyway.
Yeah, but he also could have died, so I think...
Like, a broken nose is better than that. I wonder if this is one of the guys that falls to his death later? I don't know.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Anyway, so Jarl and his team, they're gone. There's, like, everything they had all the stakes, all the ropes, everything is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And John's like, oh my god, the wall truly does defend itself.
Yeah.
And they find Jarl's body impaled upon a branch, and he's still roped to the 3 people that fell below him and are now laying there broken. One of them is still alive, but is like, oh my god, kill me already. And they do. And then they burn the dead, because, you know, the wildlings, they be smart. And imagine if, like, those people turned into whites and then just straight up started climbing the wall, you know?
That would be wild. Oh my god.
They'd be like, we already have all this gear on. We can just continue what we started when we were alive.
Oh my god.
So finally, one of the other teams reaches the top, and by that time, it's like the sun has already begun to sink. And the team at the top throws down their ropes, and then the raiders at the bottom tie these like heavy duty ladders to the ropes that they then pull up, and they've got 5 of these for everybody else to climb. I'm like, oh, this is so smart.
I know, like, this was, like, beautiful. Because it was just, like, so calculated, and I just love when things just, like there's just, like, a plan, and then it just, like, works,
I like
kind
smart
of.
people making smart plans.
Yeah.
I was, like, knew his shit. That's such a, like, sad. I'm sad that he died.
I know. I was, like...
I'm also sad for... What was her name? Val? The Mance's wife's sister?
Yeah.
Jarl was her boyfriend or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Sad.
But yeah, so even given the ropes, 2 Thens fall to their deaths and die. And it's near midnight by the time John reaches the top.
Yeah.
So they've literally spent all day just like, whoa.
It's a thing. It's a thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, Ygritte comes up and like John's like, she was freaking trembling and she's like, oh my god, like the wall was like trying to kill me, like I could feel it.
I
and, like,
almost fucking died. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And John's like, oh, don't be worried. Don't be frightened. The worst is behind us. He started comforting her. And she's like, shut the fuck up. I'm not crying because I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I'm crying because we never found the Horn of Winter. We opened 100 graves and let all those shades loose in the world and never found the Horn of Joramun to bring this cold thing down.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What do you think about that?
Whoa. So I guess we finally kind of have an explanation for why they were like digging graves and like all of that.
So they were looking for the Horn of Winter, Horn of Joramun.
And the Horn of Joramun is like, that's its thing, like it can just break things, so it's gonna break the wall, like
maybe, I guess. Like, I think we heard about a horn to wake the giants before.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. Okay.
Is it the same thing? I don't know, but
yeah.
Seems like they never found it, which I'm kind of glad of because we don't really want to bring the wall down because the others, you know?
Yeah. Yes.
Like, I'm all for getting all the people through the wall.
Mm-hmm.
But I want that wall up against the others.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, what do you think about this? Like, are we gonna encounter this horn at any point in time? Is this real?
I think it is real. I think we might encounter it at some point. The part that freaks me out,
and it can bring down the wall?
I don't know about that. I have no idea. But I think the part that freaks me out about this whole thing is it says like, excuse me. It says, we opened 100 graves and let all those shades loose in the world. I'm like, what does that mean? Like, does that mean, like, all the people they let loose can, like, now go be whites? Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
shades is, like shades is a word that kind of, like, describes ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you know, we disturbed all the dead.
Okay.
I don't know if it means literally that there's, like, ghosts out in the world now, or if it's, like...
Okay.
You know,
I thought
we didn't let the
she
dead
meant
rest.
like we like disturbed the graves, so now like the others can go like make them whites and stuff, or like the White Walkers can.
Possible.
Okay, because that's what worries me.
But like but if it's like, if it's graves, and if they're like thousands of years old, they would have decomposed by now, you know?
Right. Yes.
Like, what can the others wake? If all there is just dust. You know?
Yeah, that's fair. But they can't all be that old, right? Like,
right. So maybe it's giving them easy access. Maybe, but I would imagine, given that it's the wildlings and they be smart, that they burned any of the bodies that they dug up.
Right. Okay. That's comforting.
Yeah, I was thinking that this is more just like her concern of like, you know, like we didn't let the dead rest, like we disturbed them in their whatever. So
right.
Yeah. Okay, so they're now on top of the wall, on top of the world.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do?
I don't fucking know. I mean, okay, they were gonna, I guess we didn't know, but like we just kind of assumed like, oh, they're probably gonna like go like, one sec. Excuse me. We just like, I guess we don't know, but I think we just kind of assumed like they're gonna go what am I saying? Oh, they're gonna, like, we were like, oh, like, they're gonna go, because they don't really, like, know how many people are everywhere, blah, blah, blah. So I think they're just gonna kind of survey, and then, like, if they think they have enough people to, like, attack or, like, start doing anything, they can probably do that, but they might also just, like, survey and then go back type vibes. But they are, like, specialized raiders, right? So I would assume that would come in. I would assume they would use that.
I don't think I remember them making, like, giving, like, any plans that they made. I don't think John knows them yet. I don't think he knows what the plan is.
But I think that's my assumption of the plans.
So they're gonna clamp down on the other side of the wall and then just go look around.
Kind of, yeah.
And potentially cause trouble.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Also, you know what makes me really sad?
What?
Okay. I had a thought during Arya's chapter, because you know how we just keep getting, like, Arya and Jaime and, like, Catelyn and, like in all of their stories, like, they just kind of keep hearing about the other a little bit, like, oh, this person's here, because they're all in, like, the same area. So.
Oh, like each other.
Yes.
Sorry, when you said the other, I was like, the others.
Sorry, yeah. So I kept, so my thought was like, oh my god, like, what if we had, like, a little, like, Arya and Brienne moment? Wouldn't that be amazing? But then, fucking, that's not gonna happen anymore, because at Jaime's chapter. So, yeah.
I don't know. It still might.
I know, but, like,
you never know. For all we know, Arya might end up back in Harrenhal.
Stop. No.
that would be the worst,
yeah.
But
little rest in peace.
Okay. So John, is he like gonna just stick it with the wildlings, the free folk this whole time, or is he gonna try to make a break for his, Castle Black or whatever?
I think for now he's sticking with them. Just because.
And Ygritte, what's gonna...
I don't know, bro. That's gonna blow up in his face.
Is he gonna be like, hey, girl, come talk over here. We're just gonna escape on the morrow. Just, like, keep it on the DL.
I think he might just be like, hey, I'm gonna escape. Tell me if you want to come with me, or, like, blah, blah, blah. But, like, don't betray me. You know? Like, I think it'll kind of just be like a...
He's gonna give her a heads up.
Yeah, and be like, you can come with me, but, if you come with me, like, they're not gonna like you, you might not like, this is the vibe, but...
And she's just gonna be like, okay, I'll let you betray us. She's not gonna be like, I would rather kill you first.
I don't know, like, because, like, I understand, like, because it's like, I feel like they're both kind of in the same, like, because they're both on opposite sides, right? But then it's like they both still, like care about each other. So, like, because if she tells them what he's planning, like, he's dead. And if he leaves her, she's dead. So it's like this weird, like, I don't know, you know?
Somebody's dying.
Somebody's dying, or they might just both have to go together. But, like, she is not going to want to do that. So I just don't know how that's going to go yet.
Okay.
But hopefully it's not for a bit. Hopefully they can live in this little bubble for now.
All right. Then let's move on to Jaime.
Our bestie.
Do you want to take it for a little bit?
Yeah, our bestie Jaime. Okay. So this man has major phantom pain. He's got the big sad. He's like, oh my god, I'm worth. Sorry, my friend always says that, and I think I've started saying it from her.
Your mental illness, fix that.
He's like, wow, like, I'm nothing without this hand. Like, you know, when he tries to eat, like, he tries to do anything, and he's just like, I've never noticed this. Like, I didn't realize this. And at one point, he's like, now I know how Tyrion's felt every time when people make fun of him. So, yeah, he's just like, wow, didn't know I could be this sad. And then he does the thing where I do this too, where it's like he's in this terrible situation and his brain like goes back to like the prayers he learned when he was a child that he like literally has not uttered since, doesn't really believe in,
but somehow he remembers them now.
Yeah, it's like this weird,
this trauma is bringing out that trauma.
Yeah, it's very weird. And that's happening, and he's like, you know, I've cried, then, like, all these different things, and then he's just like, they're making fun of me.
And he's like, now I know how Tyrion has felt.
Yeah.
All those times they laughed at him.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know if, like, this experience exactly compares to Tyrion's experience.
Yeah.
But it's closer than most of Jaime's life.
I think he's just kind of like, he's just never had people laughing at him. He's always had people admiring him and being like, wow, this beautiful, capable warrior, you know? He was, like...
He's the golden boy, literally.
Yeah, like, he's just all these different things. So I think it's just, like, he's just kind of like, wow, like, I've never been laughed at, so now I'm being laughed at, and I understand how Tyrion's felt, according to him. So... that's a thing. But it's definitely giving him perspective, that's for sure. And so, anyway, like, because of the hand...
he keeps falling off his saddle, so they bind him to Brienne. And they're like, ha ha ha, you two lovers.
You two ladies.
It'd be so cruel to separate you. And
you two ladies, oh my god.
Yeah.
And
they've got his... hand they cut off. Yeah. They've hung it around his neck on a cord.
Oh my god. Because, this situation, so they cut off his hand. His hand, this entire chapter, in my margin notes, up until he went to the maester at the end, every single time he, like, brought up his hand, I was like, he's gonna die. Like, that was my prediction the entire time. Because I was like, and then, like, I was right, because he was like, dude, if you'd gone a couple more days, like, you would have been dead. Because they cut off his hand. They've done nothing about this except make it worse, and every time he falls and does something, and, like, the pain's getting worse, nothing, like, they're not doing anything. And then the fucking smell, because it's around his neck, and then he has to look at it. Like, this is so traumatic. This is terrible. And I'm just like,
it is.
Poor Jaime. But yeah, I was like, is this man gonna survive? And then they give him, like, horse piss, and he thinks it's water, and he's drinking it. And then he's, like, vomiting, and Brienne has to clean it up, and then he, like, pees or poops his pants, and then they make Brienne clean it up, and I'm just like, this is a weird trauma bond, you know? Like, that's what this is becoming.
Yeah, it's real bad. I just kind of was like, okay, moving on. Next, please.
I was like, why? Okay, because we started off, and it was, like, we started off first book, and it was like Catelyn had all these gloomy chapters. Then as we went on, it turned into Arya and Sansa, and now like Jaime's joining it. And the reason I liked Jaime at the beginning was because his chapters were like funny and like quirky, and now we're like, you know what I mean? This is really sad. All of our characters are becoming depressed. This is really sad.
Yeah, like you can see why he's kind of losing hope for life.
Yeah.
He's just laying there looking at the constellations.
Yeah.
And Brienne's like, "Hey, what you doing?" And he responds with dying.
Oh my god.
Which
relatable, sir.
Yeah, that hit too hard.
Oh my god.
Then she's like, "No, you gotta live, dude. Live, fight, and take revenge." And Jaime's just like, "Oh my," and she calls him a craven for being like this. And he's like, "They took my sword hand. Was that all I was? A sword hand?" And he's thinking about, and then he's like, "You know what? No, but Brienne's right." He calls her the wench, but you know, Brienne's right. I can't die. Cersei's waiting for me. Tyrion's waiting for me. Tyrion, his little brother who loved him for a
Another
lie.
thing we still haven't resolved.
Yeah. What do you think?
I have no idea.
Any thoughts?
I don't remember what I used to think, but now I'm looking back and I'm like, it could either be related to his like marriage with Tysha, because for some reason this keeps coming up over and over, and for some reason it feels related. Or maybe it's like related to his mom, like somehow, I don't know. Or maybe it's just like, I feel like the simplest prediction is just like, maybe like Jaime lied about something, Tyrion got in trouble, and then Jaime like saved Tyrion from trouble, but it was Jaime's fault in the first place. Like just some sort of lie that like Jaime told. So I don't know, like I just don't know what it is.
That seems to be clear.
Like, okay, yeah, but you know what I mean, like just something
clarity. That's our
strong suit.
Subheading.
Oh my god, yeah.
For the podcast.
Of course.
A Song of Ice and Fire Symposium.
Clarity. Oh my god. I told anytime I tell someone about our podcast, I'm like, I forget to say Pop Culture Symposium, and I'll say A Song of Ice and Fire Symposium, and they just kind of like look at me, they're like, what? And then I have to be like, oh, A Song of Ice and Fire. Like, it's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
It's clear is what it is.
It's a little too clear, I would say.
We get together and talk about A Song of Ice and Fire.
Oh my god. But yeah, so he's like, live for Cersei, live for Tyrion, live for vengeance. A Lannister always pays his debts.
And then later on, he's like, I'm gonna pay these debts with interest.
That was funny. That was good.
Yeah. And he's like, when I reach King's Landing, I'll have a new hand forged, a golden hand, and one day I'll use it to rip out Vargo Hoat's throat. Wow, Hoat's throats.
Oh my god. I was like, is that technology that's feasible in this world?
A golden hand? Yeah. Like, I don't know if it'll be functional. It could just be like a golden hand that he wears like a glove or something. I don't know.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think it'll like be mechanical hand.
Right. Yeah, he's kind of like, wow, they still tie me to a
or
tree.
He could get like a hook or like a sword or something.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
but like a sword is like very much in the wrist, and I don't think he has a wrist anymore. So all he could do with like a sword attachment would be just like poke at people. I guess. I don't know.
God. Right.
Like, it seems like a good idea, but then you're like, you know what? Like, without the wrist, he can't have all the movements, so.
That's true.
Anyway, so he's like, he's more like, oh my god, my hand, without it, I'm nothing. It's just, yeah, he's feeling real low.
Yeah.
And he hears them talking about Harrenhal, and then he laughs out loud. For which he gets like hit because they're like, don't laugh or cry or speak or breathe or any of it. And Brienne's like, why'd you laugh, dude? And he explains that Harrenhal was where he became a Knight of the Kingsguard. And we learned that he was only 15. And he was so excited, but Eris didn't even let him enjoy it. He sent him away right away.
Ugh.
Which we know that Eris had some kind of beef with Tywin. Which is what, or like, I don't know, this was part of the beef. There was some beef somewhere.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah, so he was probably doing this to spite Tywin, because I think he made Jaime Knight of the Kingsguard. No, Tywin was mad about him making Jaime Kingsguard, because then Tywin lost his heir.
Yeah.
Was Eris mad about anything? Maybe Eris was mad about Tywin quitting, because he was mad?
Maybe?
I don't know. The Mad King seems like the kind of person who would hold grudges, you know?
Definitely. But, Kate, I just want to clarify something. So, the Harrenhal tourney, we hear so much about this all the time. So, Jaime's first time, all that, R plus L equals J. Which tourney was the one where the infamous knife was supposedly won by, for...
Oh, that was like a much more recent tourney. Okay. I think it was like Joffrey's birthday tourney.
Oh, okay.
Like right before Jon Arryn died.
Okay, got it.
Because like they were talking about how only a few weeks before at Joffrey's birthday tourney, Jon Arryn was totally fine. But then now he's dead.
Right,
something like that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was a much more recent tourney.
Okay, yeah, and then Rorge slamming his boot into Jaime's stomach. Yeah. I was like, dude, this man is gonna die. Y'all need, please stop.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So Rorge is here, as you can see. Not up in
Ramsey Land.
I don't know, wherever Ramses is. Yeah. Ramsey Land. A really fucked up Disneyland. Okay.
Oh my god. I mean, he has the impressions of people part down for comparing it to Disneyland.
Yeah. Okay, so Rorge and a couple of the others, Zollo, who's one of the Dothraki, and Shagwell, who's the jester, they're all kind of circling Brienne, and Jaime turns to her and is like, just go away inside and let them do it and get it over with. And he thinks to himself, like, that's what I did when Rickard and Brandon Stark were killed in front of me. Because, we heard the story of that, but we didn't hear about his reaction, because he wasn't going to be like, hey, Catelyn, by the way, I was totally not cool with that happening, you know? Yeah. But yeah, it kind of goes to show he's not the most terrible of people. He could have enjoyed that event, but instead he chose not to, so...
Yeah, I think it's just,
yay for Jaime.
Yeah, I think it's just, because he sees, fighting as, this thing he's really good at, and, blah, blah, blah. But, I think it's just, he's just not, bloodthirsty, is the conclusion we've come to, is, he's just kind of I fight because I'm good at it, and I'm an icon, you know? I think it's more, and I think that's just the conclusion I've come to, is because there's so many freaking what's his name? Gregor's bloodthirsty and just wants to kill everyone and just wants there to be no one left on this earth, you know? But then whereas Jaime's kind of just I'm cool, you know? That sort of vibe. So he's oh, why would I, you know? But yeah, so when was this? When did they die in front of him?
Oh god. Okay, hang on. So history lesson? I don't know. Rhaegar supposedly kidnaps Lyanna.
Right, yes.
So Brandon Stark and Rickon Stark. Or Rickard Stark? Rickard Stark. Rickard Stark, they go down to King's Landing to demand that Rhaegar let her go. But instead, the Mad King is like, oh, you know what? I'll fight you in a trial, and I choose fire to be my, what's it called? Champion. So he then burns one of them. So he sets Lord Rickard he burns Lord Rickard and sets it up so Brandon Stark strangles himself to death while trying to reach his father to save him.
Okay.
And this is like one of the major events that commenced the war. Like at this point, there wasn't really a rebellion. Like people were pissed about Lyanna being kidnapped or whatever.
Yeah.
But after this was when like Ned was like, okay, fuck no, let's fuck this shit up. Yeah.
Right. Yes.
And I think soon after this is when Catelyn and Ned and Jon Arryn and Lysa all got married and then like went off to war.
Okay.
Because they were like, let's lock down these alliances and go for it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else? Any more further questions?
No, teacher. Thank you.
All right. Glad to be of help. Moving into... So these guys are debating how exactly they're going to rape Brienne, which is a delightful conversation,
oh my God.
which Jaime interrupts by shouting sapphires really loudly, which brings Vargo Hoat to the situation. And these guys were trying to rape Brienne against his will because Vargo Hoat wants to ransom her off for all the sapphires. So he then sets up a guard on Jaime and Brienne to protect them from his own people. So, yay. I don't know. There's so many. I just gotta find the yays where I can, you know?
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah. And then she's like, and then a few days later, Brienne's like, yo, bro, like, why'd you do that? And he's just like being all sarcastic about it and not willing to admit like, hey, we're trauma bonded. Like, I got you, you know?
Yeah, he's like, oh, this is for all the people you killed in the river for me. So thanks for that.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. And
they get to Harrenhal.
So they're, and he's like, what is he like? Oh yeah. He's thinking about how like the Boltons, like, Bolton holds the castle and how all he knows about the Boltons is that they like to skin their enemies, but Tyrion would have known all that was there to know. So, but here I am, uneducated, but Tyrion's with Cersei. I gotta be with Cersei.
Oh my God.
I cannot die while Cersei lives, he told himself. We will die together as we were born together.
This makes me really sad because I'm worried about Cersei's reaction. I'm like...
To what?
Just him and this whole situation.
Like, what do you mean? Explain.
Like, I just don't know if Cersei's gonna be like, oh my God, my beloved Jaime.
So you don't think she'll be impressed that he's back and he's going to be heartbroken over it or something?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're worried about his heartbreak.
I'm worried about his heartbreak, which is weird because this is our enemy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So they're pulling up to Harrenhal and he notices that at the very spot where he had once knelt before the king to say his vows, someone had dug a privy trench.
Oh my.
He's just like, that's funny. And they're noticing the banners. So there's the flayed man of the Boltons, but also the twin towers of the Freys.
Yeah. Huh?
But then above all of it is the Grey Wolf of the Starks. So okay, but we do know that Bolton married a Frey, so maybe, you know, they're like related now, so that's why they're hanging out together.
I don't know. I don't like this.
So what do you think?
We'll get
But
to
then
it.
why would they be okay with flying the direwolf? Like, if they were against Robb for sure, then wouldn't they have like taken that down?
Yeah, but maybe it's more like Bolton's trying to keep his intentions ambiguous, so he's keeping both of them up there for now.
Okay. That does sound like him, though.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Later on. Oh, okay. We'll get to that.
Yeah,
we'll get to that. Sorry.
Okay, we'll get there.
I'm jumping the boat.
Why the boat?
'Cause I was remembering how there's a boat, how there's one of the gates of Harrenhal. There's an illustration of like a boat going under it because it's like a boat gate.
That's so funny.
And they're talking about how the walls of Harrenhal are so thick that it's like passing through a tunnel instead of like through a gate.
Oh my god.
Which is,
that's a little scary.
Yeah. So Varga Hoat presents Jaime to Roose Bolton. And Jaime notices all the Freys around and he's like, oh, a fury of Freys. And he like knows all of them by name because like his aunt's married to one of them. And he gives them condolences for Cleosa's death. And Brienne's like, oh my god, dude, help me out here. I'm Brienne of Tarth and I'm sworn to House Stark and I'm here on behalf of Lady Catelyn. Like, let's be cool together.
Yeah.
And
it's funny because she's like, Lady Catelyn commanded me to deliver Lannister, and then Urswick is like, she was trying to drown him when we found him.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
And she's like, oh, I mean, that was just a little folly. Yeah. We were just messing around.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then the Freys start arguing about what to do with Jaime. They're like, let's ransom him back to Riverrun. But then somebody's like, Casterly Rock has more gold. And then another one's like, kill him. His head for Ned Stark. Like, they can't even
Yeah, it's crazy because they just, like, literally a minute ago, they were like, Rob betrayed us. And now he's like, his head for Ned. Like, what side are you on, bro?
Yeah, it seems like they themselves haven't decided yet.
No, literally.
And then, so they're, like, arguing like fools. And Roose Bolton just, like, he is no one's should he die. And then he like talks so quiet that everybody has to like shut up to like hear him.
So smart.
Which is such a good strategy.
So smart.
I think we've talked about this, how we talk so loud that people have to like get away from us.
Yeah.
But we should really
pull a Bolton.
We really should practice this. And yeah, Jaime like, you know, mocks him a little bit and it's like, I don't like those eyes of his. And all Lord Bolton has to say is, you have lost a hand. And Jaime's like, no, I haven't. I have it right here around my neck.
Oh my god.
And Roose Bolton takes off the hand and like throws it to Vargo Hoat to get rid of it. And Vargo Hoat's like, I'm gonna send this to his dad, and I'll tell him to pay me 100,000 dragons, or we're gonna return the Kingslayer to him piece by piece. And then once we have his gold, we're gonna deliver Jaime to Karstark and collect a maiden too.
Wow.
A fine plan, said Roose Bolton. The same way he might say a fine wine to a dinner companion.
Oh my god.
And then he just like dresses them down as like, Karstark's dead and Tywin's at King's Landing. He's not gonna be messing with y'all. And he says Tywin's at King's Landing until his grandson marries a bride of Highgarden. And this is when I'm like, wait, no, Brienne says, wait, I thought Joffrey was betrothed to Sansa. What's going on? And I didn't realize just how behind the times they were.
No, literally. Like, to them, Roose is giving them all this, like, fresh tea, and we're like, hey, move on. Like, I've known this for months. Like,
yeah, this is old news. Yeah. Because I guess, like, by the time they left, the battle hadn't concluded yet. So Highgarden wasn't, like, fully in the picture. Yeah. So, anyway. And so Jaime asks about his sister, and Bolton's like, she's well, as is your nephew. And he pauses. And it's very clear that the pause is to indicate,
oh my god,
I know, dude, I know. Yeah, and he tells Jaime that Tyrion is also alive, but took a wound. Doesn't seem like they have heard news of Sansa being married to him yet. Or maybe he just doesn't want to share that news yet, you know?
Yeah.
So he tells everybody, not like, he orders people to take Jaime to Qyburn, who's the kind of maester, and tells them to unbind Brienne and to find her proper quarters and everything. And she complains about like these guys trying to rape her, and he's like, well, you're under my protection now, so at least that's good. Mm-hmm. Although, wasn't it under Roose Bolton's rule at Harrenhal that there were those pens of women that were just there for people to rape as they wished?
Yeah, but I think he's like, oh, you're royal, so I got you. Or not royal, but like you're important.
So he's a classist.
Yeah. Oh, they all... Which one of these people aren't?
True. I concede. Okay. Yeah, and she's like, oh, I want my sword and my armor back. And he's like, you don't need those. We'll get you all dressed up. And blah, blah, blah. So we flash forward, or like Jaime goes to the maester. And Qyburn is like, we should probably take off your arm because of all the corruption that's spread. And Jaime's like, you take my arm and you die. Just clean up the stump and I'll take my chances. And then Qyburn's like, well, can I at least cut it up to your elbow? I'll like, make a nice cut. And he's like, you take any part of my arm, you'd best chop off the other one as well, or I'll strangle you with it afterward.
Oh my god.
And Qyburn's like, okay, fine. Do you want some milk of the poppy to help with the pain? And Jaime's like, no. He doesn't want to risk falling asleep in case Qyburn gets ideas and cuts off his arm.
Oh my god.
And Qyburn's like, it's gonna hurt, dude. And Jaime's like, I'll scream. It's gonna hurt a lot. I'll scream very loudly.
Oh my god.
See, there's humor. It's fine.
I feel... No, don't defend it. This is miserable, and you know it.
I know it. I do know it. So, instead of drinking milk of the poppy, he drinks a lot of wine. And at one point, he does lose consciousness. But when he wakes up, Qyburn's kind of like cleaned it all up and is sewing it up. And he's doing it pretty well. And Jaime's like, oh, you've done this before. And Qyburn has to be like, yeah, anyone who serves with Margot Hote is no stranger to stumps. He makes them wherever he goes, which, what a reputation to have, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
And Jaime like looks at Qyburn and is like, oh, all those other people with Margot Hote are monsters, but this guy doesn't look like a monster. He's soft-spoken and he's got warm brown eyes. Like, what's your deal, dude? How does a maester come to ride with the brave companions? And this is where we learned that the Citadel took his chain.
What did he do?
Yeah. What do you think? Any ideas?
I don't know. I think, like, I don't know. I'm worried about this guy now. I'm like, what has he been up to? Maybe he just, like, I don't know, like, broke a sacred law and then, like, whoa.
So overall, is he like cool or
I think he's cool. Like, he probably just broke like something dumb and then they're like, you ain't got no chain, and he was like, bruh.
Okay. All right. So he asks Qyburn about the battle, and Qyburn starts describing it and how Tyrion set the river aflame, and then Jaime like kind of has this vision of like green flames reaching up into the sky higher than the tallest towers as burning men screamed in the streets. I have dreamed this dream before, which is ominous. Mm-hmm. Any ideas?
I don't know.
Why would he be dreaming of like a burning city?
I don't know. It like, because as far as we know, like Casterly Rock, and then like King's Landing, and then like the occasional little field trip to like Turney's, you know? like why? Yeah. What city is? I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay.
Maybe it's related to his little lie to Tyrion. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So Qyburn fixes him all up, even like the cut that he got from fighting with Brienne. And he's like, oh, you better go check on the woman who did this to me. And Qyburn's like, what is this woman to you? And Jaime has to be like, my protector. And
my trauma buddy.
Yeah. Qyburn says, I'll mix you up some potions and we'll get you all fixed up. And tomorrow I'll put a leech on your eye to drain the bad blood. And Jaime's like, oh, a leech? Lovely. Lord Bolton is very fond of leeches, Qyburn said primly. Yes, said Jaime, he would be.
Oh my god.
Like, it just fits his MO so well. Okay. So, they are at Harrenhal.
Yes, they are.
Presumably kind of safe, like, from rape and death for the time being, you know? What's gonna happen?
I don't trust Bolton one bit.
What's Bolton gonna do with
I don't
them?
trust Bolton, because then at one point he was also like, I'm gonna march north, and I was like, what are you doing in the north? Your enemies are down south. And I was like, what if he's trying to... Because, Kate, my issue is, like, his...
Oh, I took that as just, like, at some point I'll be leaving to go home. Not as, like, I've got plans. I'm leaving tomorrow.
Oh, I took it as, like, I got plans. Like, I'm messing things up.
You're, like, real suspicious of
I don't
guy.
trust this man at all. Because, like... I just don't trust him. And also, I think with the whole Ramsay factor, because Ramsay, last time we saw him was at Winterfell. Then he went off.
Yeah, burning it down.
So maybe he, like, notified Bolton, and, like, now Bolton's gonna go take over Winterfell, and now he has Jaime as well. So, he has that. Like, I just don't trust, like, I just don't know what he's up to.
Haven't the Ironborn got Moat Cailin, though?
Oh, I keep forgetting about them.
Yeah, I know. They're such pains in the
yeah.
ass.
It's like we have enough enemies to deal with, and then they come in and they're like, we want in, and I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah, you forget about them, and then all of a sudden, boom.
Okay, well, I guess
choice.
that kind of messes it up. Does he... Oh, well, that's a dumb question. Of course he knows that the Iron Men have Moat Cailin. He knows everything else that's going on. Okay, so maybe for now he's chilling, but I feel like eventually he's gonna be like, whoa. But Kate, because my thing is, like, we just don't see him communicating with Rob. We just see Rob communicating with him. We don't see him being like, okay, you know? Like, do you know what I mean? Like...
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, but do we need to see every little letter?
No, we
that
don't. But I just feel like...
Also, the POVs we have don't really give us that access, like, 100%. You know, because Catelyn's, like, kind of on Rob's council, but it's mostly about, like, who's marrying who, not really about...
Yeah, but I still think that it could have come up, because every time Rob sends a letter, it comes up. So, and Rob's just never been like... Rob will just be like, oh yeah, I said that. Like, there's just no... We never resolve these things, so... But yeah, I just don't trust him. But I think for now, like, he's just kind of like, okay, like, I have Jaime. But I think it's good that they're at Harrenhal, because Harrenhal is, like, this big, scary place that everyone's scared of. Because other than Harrenhal, like, literally every single person in this world is on the hunt for Jaime, you know? So it's kind of like I really hope that... Like, I guess it's really good that we have all this protection and we're in this safe spot now, rather than before when it was just Vargo, like, out in the world, and it was, like, anyone could, like, Karstarks, you know, like, literally anyone.
Right, okay. So, is Roose Bolton going to return him to Riverrun? Is he going to keep him? Or is he going to send him down to King's Landing to fulfill the deal?
I think he's gonna keep him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what?
Well,
just hang on to him, not even try to, like, ransom him off.
Well, I don't trust him. I think
we've made that clear. clarity.
Really hammer it in. I think he will. Because Tywin was also, like, exchanging letters with someone, right?
Yeah, that's kind of his job as Hand
No,
of the King.
Kate, stop. You know exactly what I mean. Stop pretending like you don't.
Yeah, he's definitely colluding. He was like, sometimes wars can be won with quills instead of swords. He was being really cagey.
Yeah,
so he's up to something.
So let's say, you know what, I just need to throw a prediction out into the universe. Bolton is gonna collude with Tywin and be like, hey, here's Jaime, but what do I get?
Okay. All right. So he's gonna ransom Jaime to Tywin, not necessarily for money, but for something.
Yes.
Okay. And he's not marching north to take over Winterfell.
Not for now, no.
Okay. I suppose that's Brienne? Is she gonna be okay? Is she gonna be where Jaime is the whole time?
I don't think so. I think for now she's just kind of here, and then, like, I think Bolton's gonna try and get, like, intel from her and stuff.
But say, like, Jaime leaves for whatever reason. Is Brienne going with Jaime, or is she gonna be just stuck at Harrenhal?
I think she'll be stuck at Harrenhal.
Doing what?
I don't know. They'll probably be like, she'll be like, I want a battle. But she'll also,
okay.
I think she'll be like trapped prisoner vibes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't have any more questions. What's Tywin gonna do once he hears that Jaime lost his hand, though?
He gonna be mad. He gonna be like, send me that Vargo. Vargo Travago.
All right. I'm done with this. Let's move on to next chapters, unless you have something very, very important to add.
I don't. I've said all my very important, lovely thoughts.
All right. We're reading 2 chapters next time. Give me your hopes and predictions.
I want to see Catelyn and Bran.
Okay. Cool. Interesting that you want to see Bran.
Why?
Well, I don't know. People are usually just very bored by Bran chapters, you know?
Really?
I don't know. I like them because they are like where all like the magic mythology kind of things are. And like that last chapter was full of shit with that Harrenhal tourney story.
See, my thing is,
anyway, okay.
I also don't really like Bran and he bores me. However, I like Mira and Jojen a lot. So right now I like Bran.
Oh.
They're really cool. Like, I love them. I want them to be main characters.
Interesting. Okay, I didn't know this. This is news to me. Okay. Well, you're wrong on both accounts.
Okay.
So, we're reading chapters 32 and 33. Chapter 32 is Tyrion.
Yay.
I should have been like, chapter 32 is Tywin.
Oh my god. I would have died. Okay, Tyrion, I mean, the man just got married.
Unhappily.
Very unhappily. So we're probably going to deal with some wedding trauma. Hopefully we'll hear about, the Jaime stuff. The news will start spreading. As far as, I don't really, because last time we saw Tyrion, it was kind of just about Tywin's plans. Because you know how usually we learn about Tyrion's plans? But as of right now, so...
Well, he's, like, downgraded to Master of Coin now.
Right. So maybe he'll get used to, his new job.
Yeah. Okay, so new job, new wedding, new marriage, or whatever. Okay. Then we've got chapter 33, which is Samwell.
Whoa. Wow, we haven't seen him in...
Remember him?
Barely, but I know he exists.
Oh, by the way, I have like a side note for Samwell before we even talk about his chapter. So his last chapter, I think his only chapter that we've had so far, where he was just walking and trying to survive and then killed another, right? And he's just been real hard on himself about being a coward and everything. And after we recorded that chapter, like very soon after, I was like thinking back and I was like, oh, I should have said this, which was, I wish he had heard Ned's wisdom, which is, can a man still be brave if he's afraid? That is the only time a man can be brave. I wish somebody had said that to him.
Yeah.
Right?
That would be beautiful. Yes.
But there was no one to say it to him. But he still slayed.
Oh my god. Yes, he did. Dear Lord.
I'm never gonna... Everybody, Harmouth got 3 messages from 3 different people sending her the same TikTok about the word slay. That tells you everything you need to know.
It's fine. It's okay.
Okay, you know how I sent you 2 TikToks at the same time? One was about slaying and then the other one was about crying. Yeah. And I saw like the first bit of your message and it was like, OMG, literally 3 people sent that to me. And before I read like all of it, I thought it was going to be about the cry one because that's so also very much on brand for you.
What? Excuse me. No, it's not. It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. You can feel your emotions.
It's fine.
It'd be better if you did something about them.
I don't think so. I think it's as long as you feel them and you acknowledge them. Just kidding, guys. Please don't listen to me. That's bad advice for everyone except for me.
It's bad advice for you too, but you're just gonna...
No, I don't know what you're saying.
Ignore all
what
the good advice. Okay, we're talking about Samwell. He was out here surviving. What are we doing?
So... Right, because the candle stuff and then like the
I think you were like, they're gonna be at the wall. And John's at the wall. OMG, does that mean they're gonna meet up? Are they at the wall?
I think they're still trying to get to the wall.
Okay, so where in their journey are they?
They're almost there. Maybe by the end it'll be like, I see someone that I know in the distance. John! You know?
So it's just gonna be more of the same?
Maybe? I don't know. Fine, they get to the wall.
Yay. Okay. Wow, you're so boring. Whatever. That's
Rude.
it. 2 chapters. So we've got nothing else to say. People, send us an email. It's popculturesymposium@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at popculturesymposium and join our Discord. Yes, link in the description or whatever. Harmouth was like aggressively signaling me to mention the Discord, so that's why it sounded like that. Anyway, until next time, whether that's next week or the week after, farewell, my friends.
Talk to you later.